Let's create dynamic named ranges. Sometimes we want to name our data and we want to let that data grow, add more to it, but at the same time we don't want to include empty cells below it. As you can see here, we have defined a name called cells months. The formula that is used in that new name, cells months, is this offset formula. For the offset formula, the first argument is where it's anchored. Here we said on the sheet or tab named dynamic in cell A1. Then it asks how many rows to go down or up. We put in 1, so that would go down to A2. Next, it asks for the columns. We'll stay in the same column, so we'll put 0. Now it wants the height of how much we want to include as data. So we want to start at A2. It's anchored in A1, start at A2, and then include all of these values. That's the height. We can get that using a count A, how many are in column AA, and then just subtract 1 for the cells months up here. That will tell us how many entries we have in this column. And then finally, how many columns width we have. Only 1. Next, we create another name called sales. The formula that goes into that named range is offset. What it says is take every value we have in cells months, that's everything A2 through A25 right now, go down 0 rows and 1 column to the right. So have all these values B2 through B25. Let's see how these work. Total of sales, that's all of these values, is 552. I count how many cells, 24. I count how many months, count A of cells months, and there's 24 as well. Let's make this a bit smaller and make changes to this. Maybe about there. And I'll just make changes by pulling these down. Now there's 26 of each, and I can delete these values here, and you'll see those change accordingly. So both cells months and cells are dynamic at this point. Let me put in a couple of values. Maybe let's create a chart with this. So let's do a very easy one. Control A to highlight it all and say insert. Let's just do a column chart here for sales. You can see we go through January 12th, February 12th, and so forth. But note, if I delete any of these cells, my chart remained the same. It didn't delete the dates and such on it. We just lost the data values. Oh, that's not so good. Let's change that and make the chart dynamic. We could have made it dynamic by putting this into a table, and then the chart built on a table will change and grow bigger and smaller. But we can do it now as well. We'll just click on the series, and up here in the series values, B1 is the name, A2 through A27. Let's replace that with cells months. And then dynamic B2 through B27, that's our cells. We'll just replace that with cells. Okay, enter. Now you'll notice that's the right size. And as we decide to grow this, it grew as well, both positive and negative in this case. A dynamic named range may also work if you have data down below further on. In that case, though, we'll need to make some changes. Instead of looking at the whole column, we'll only look at, say, maybe 1 through 100, and put that as what we're checking to see how many cells have something in it. That would be the only adjustment we would need to make. Have fun counting and using many different methods of summing.